start. Okie dokie. Hoo ha ho ha ho hoo. We are here.
We're on the internet.
We are on the interwebs.
Good.
Alright, that was loud. Alright, how's it going, pal?
I'm good. I'm still alive. You know, things have been a little bit crazy in this country of ours last couple of days, or weeks, or year, basically.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, just trying to stay positive, not dwell on it. Most of the stuff usually I read about happens somewhere else in some far-flung part of the country. Not a whole lot of shit happens where I am because I just live in the middle of fucking nowhere. But
yeah, but you live in California, you know? That's where all this stuff is happening.
not anymore.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it changed. Everybody left. Now it's all happening in Austin, Texas, every time something happens.
Well, I still see things happening here, okay?
Yeah, but, you know, you live in the nation's capital, so it's like a given.
I mean, not really. Like, where I am is kind of secluded as well. As far as, like, you know, secluded from downtown and midtown and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's still lots of stuff that's happening out here. Like, even in my small area where I am, you know, I see things.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you want to talk at all about any of the stuff happening. I don't think there's any real point to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make a
Well, I think
difference.
for us in California, it doesn't make a difference, but for a lot of people in other states, it, you know, makes a gigantic difference. You know, especially like the question of interstate travel for that kind of thing is very interesting.
Yeah.
Freedom of movement is one of the most important things to any American citizen. It's the reason our culture is obsessed with cars. Well, at least I think it's the reason we're obsessed with cars, because you can get in your car, you can basically go wherever the fuck you want as long as you have money to keep putting gas in the tank. Which is basically one of the ultimate expressions of freedom of movement.
Yeah, if anybody's interested, just like in information, I guess I did a podcast on my other podcast called Life Serial, and it just about what Roe v. Wade is and what overturning it means and what people can do now. More informational, because I think abortion is one of the very few political topics that I firmly believe there's almost no point in talking about it with people, like as far as opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the things that it's something where a lot of facts and evidence don't really matter with it, because it's something that people feel so deeply about that no matter what you say, you're never going to change how they feel. And so there's no point in talking about it, because all you're going to do is upset somebody, whether they're pro or anti-abortion. So
yeah, and you know, it's just this. Like, I can understand why people would be upset at the decision. And as someone who identifies as progressive, I'm not like, you know, in the streets screaming. Cause I'm not driving all the way to Oakland to go to a protest, because I'll be like sitting in traffic.
Like I said, I see people here in my small town on the corner with signs, and I'm just like, it's really unfortunate.
They want to feel like, you know, they're contributing to something, because at the end of the day, it's very hard for someone to move to a location where they feel like they're contributing. Because a lot of people, like you said, they feel very passionately about this issue. Probably a level of passion that you and I don't have about this issue that other people have. Because you and I know a lot about it. Like, personally, for me, coming from law, I understood that Roe v. Wade, unfortunately, as Supreme Court cases go, it just wasn't a very well litigated case. So already, again, like, you know, I think there are hundreds of other cases that they could have relied on that the Supreme Court could have brought to the top. For some reason, they decided Roe v. Wade. You know, there are hundreds.
It's because of Mississippi. You know, it got brought before them, which is why states do that. Like, states like Mississippi frequently try to impede on abortion to get a case before the Supreme Court to try to get Roe v. Wade overturned, and that's what happened in this case. And like, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know. So much misinformation gets spread about it, and like,
Yeah.
when.
And this,
Go ahead.
just to finish my thought real quick though, but the Democratic Party just really fucking dropped the ball, dude. Like this has been coming for almost 20 years now. There are a lot of things they could have done to get out ahead of this, and they just didn't do it. Nancy Pelosi wants to put on kente cloth and go out there talking about how much she identifies with black brothers and sisters, and then she won't even go to won't walk openly around a neighborhood in Oakland, let's say. It's just there's so much hypocrisy and there's so much just lack of effort on the DNC now, like for basic governance and like the day-to-day running of states and things like that. It's just it's very there. And also, we also need to identify in California that we are very protected here. There's books about going about this issue because we've been dealing with this issue we've been dealing with this issue forever as a society. But more specifically, we have I think there are I think there's laws on the books going back to as early as 1870 something when it comes to this when it comes to this kind of discussions and stuff like that. So we have a long, diverse legal history about it and talking about it. And a lot of other states just don't want to talk about it. That's another thing I think a lot of people need to identify.
Right. Well, yeah. Like when you hear like news sites and stuff talk about it and like whatever, it's always like, oh, we're overturning 50 years of constitutional presidents and all this stuff, and it's like, well, Roe v. Wade's been contentious since it was passed.
It's been a battleground. This is battleground. It's the only political battleground in this country for 60-ish years.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of in the jaws of the progressive movement, which is a good thing because that means everything's moving forward. Conservatives felt very, very strongly about this. They really did. Which is again bringing.
And on that point, conservatives should not be celebrating. Like, I'll never understand the idea that this is some kind of victory for conservatives. You're not stopping abortion, that. You're just not.
And you're just making it harder for mostly poor people. Honestly, that's who this impacts at the end of the day. Makes it difficult for people who are just of minimal means to go and get access to contraceptives or anything else they need to plan their family or make their own health decisions.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where the further implications are. I mean, if you're looking at they use the same they use the due process clause of the 14th Amendment to essentially decide Roe v. Wade initially, and same-sex marriage and contraception are also Supreme Court cases decided using that same clause, and so they can look into those things now and potentially reverse those back to the state. So it does get dangerous.
Especially with gay marriage, the thing is being able to returning all those marriage licenses, revoking marriage licenses. You need to send actors in the state to actually collect the physical marriage license because the document itself is how you prove to most tax documents that you legally have. Unless I guess they'll say, oh, we annul them all automatically if they're between two men. I don't know. It's just it is really dumb. And Clarence Thomas, I don't know. He's been saying stuff like this for a long time. Yeah, he's been openly as soon as the decision was passed. Obergefell, that's the name of it, if I'm not mistaken, which is the one that approved for gay. For two people to enter into a civil union without the state coming in saying that they can.
Same-sex marriage.
And he's been targeting it for a long time. So I don't know. I wasn't as oh my god when he started talking about that because I don't know the thing.
No, it's not, none of it's surprising. It's just unfortunate. It really is.
And also with Clarence Thomas, he's been talking about overturning Obergefell since it was passed, and more importantly, he's been a fan of restricting people of the same sex from getting married for as long as essentially he's held the seat. He's been just a very strict religion fundamentalist. Everyone calls him a textualist or whatever, an originalist. But at the end of the day, if you're being informed by the Constitution and by your religious document, means you're a religious fundamentalist. That's what he is. That's how he governs. That's how he, conducts himself as a judge. I am a little bit more secure in Obergefell because this comes down to fundamentally a little bit of libertarianism. I don't think they have the votes on the court. I think a lot of them, I think with Kavanaugh bringing up, like, this essentially saying that he will never vote a specific way when it comes to the obstruction of interstate travel for abortions. Again, I think it just ties back into essential libertarianism and the freedom of movement for, Americans, and like what the state can and can't allow them to do. Obviously, abortion is a big one on that, but it's just such a complicated, extreme issue with so many people on every different side. It's hard. It's just hard to. I don't know. I'm all scatterbrained.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, it's one of the things where, like, if Democrats solve these problems when they have the chance, they can no longer raise money to tell people they're trying to solve problems. So, that's what it comes down to. Like, as soon as Roe v. Wade gets overturned, obviously you get all these like, if you're part of the Democratic Party, I'm not part of any party. I'm registered independent because I don't give a shit. I don't vote in anything, but don't ignore me on all this stuff. But like, it's widespread. Like, everybody hears about it. Like, Democrats immediately are you're getting texts from the president saying, "Hey, send money. It's your duty." Like, "Hey, we need to fundraise money for the DNC because Roe v. Wade got overturned." It's like, well, you guys had lots of opportunities to, like,
codify it. They had chances, and then they made money, and they keep.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the reason. Like, I'm a registered Democrat, but then I stopped voting and stopped caring because I really don't think that the DNC in its session really gives a shit about actual governance.
That being said, Democrats are going to run on Roe v. Wade coming soon. I mean, we have primaries and everything coming up in midterm elections, and if Democrats really want, like, I talked about this in my own podcast. I'll just say here for anybody interested, if Democrats really want to try to make a difference, they need to win back the House and the Senate and try to expand the Supreme Court and hope another case gets brought before it so that they can overturn the overturning.
Because, again, Roe v. Wade was just, it was decided on a lot of very poor legal arguments and just lack of evidence.
We could have a new landmark case,
Exactly, a case where a woman really can display the fact that her life is being just directly impacted by this decision, and that's important for life, liberty, property, or whatever, however they want to swing it.
Right.
There are options here. It's not like we're backed in forever, but at the same time too, I see a lot of people on the left that are just, this is a problem, like, where they're in the mode where they want to burn it all fucking down.
Yeah.
Which is just as short-sighted and just as foolish as burning down the decision of Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. And something I would implore anybody to do when things like this happen, stop conflating it with other things. Stop bringing up gun laws. Stop bringing up other Supreme Court decisions. Like, if this is your issue and this is what you want to talk about and have discussions and movement on, leave it at that. Like, you saying guns have more rights than women in America doesn't accomplish anything. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of how two different cases are decided differently. Like, I get it. It's frustrating, but we can't conflate different issues together and think that somehow.
That's all people want to do these days. Like, I saw someone on Twitter saying, "Oh, it's like we're basically returning to slavery. Women are slaves now. Like, we're only 2/3 a person." I'm like, oh my fucking god, dude! Like, it's such an awful, horrible, shitty fucking look.
It's kind of also, like, disrespectful to people who were slaves. But whatever. There's information, there are resources, and people can make a difference. Protesting in California, I will always defend your right under the Constitution to protest, but you're not making a difference. I'm sorry to say.
California will always be protected. Like, it's just a fact.
I get it. People think, like, hey, we're showing solidarity. We're standing up for the people in other states who don't have those rights anymore or whatever. And it's like, that's respectable, but you're actually doing nothing in the state of California still. So
nothing. Like, California is just hyper liberal. That's what it is at the end of the day, and you need to realize that. And freedom riders used to get on buses and go to southern states, when it was 100 degrees in those metal boxes, when it was 99% humidity, with racist assholes taking pot shots at them from the side of the road. So, I was saying, like,
yeah,
there's a lot going on.
Yep. But anyway,
And then too, the January 6th stuff today. I'm not sure if you like read any of that stuff, but it's fucking crazy, dude. Did you hear about this?
So, yeah, I've been following it. And what I will say, a lot of the stuff that's coming out is horrifying, but I don't know why I choose to look at this as like I choose to see the positive of all the things that are coming out. And
more people didn't die.
Well, so the way I look at it is like, you know, we're a young country still relatively, and you have to fight. Like it doesn't really occur to you, but like it's a constant struggle to keep our democracy alive.
Yeah,
and
people like, you know, that's what a lot of people said at the end of the 80s and 90s, like it's the end of history, we won. And I think that's also another huge like issue we have in this country. A lot of people think that like the fight versus fascism is over. And it's not. Exactly. Like it won't ever be over. It's an integral part of our nature. Like we were dominated by like, you know, these hyper strict social structures for almost 3,000 years. And
right.
Potentially more. You know, there's a lot about human history we just don't know.
Right. And so our democracy survived Donald Trump, and it very well could have fallen, like very easily, right?
Yeah,
we're talking about the most powerful person in the world.
Here's one thing I need to say. I'm not sure if did you hear about like all the breaking stuff about that aide they had in today who said some really fucking crazy shit.
Yep.
Basically, for those of you who aren't in the loop, apparently the Secret Service after Trump's rally, he said we're going to take a little walk down to the Capitol, right? Okay, first thing, all right. He had the metal detectors removed from that rally because there were people coming in with firearms, and he said they're not carrying those guns to hurt me. It doesn't fucking matter. And he had the metal detectors taken down. So he knows that there are armed people like in this crowd already, basically, and then he's like saying, "Oh, they're not there to fucking hurt me." Like, so it's kind of really fucking weird that he would say that. Like, you think he'd be more concerned that there's a bunch of people walking around packing heat at his own political rally in the nation's capital, but he doesn't give a shit. And as a matter of fact, he encourages it.
Well, he's the one who brought them there.
Yeah, and the second thing that's really fucking disturbing is apparently his Secret Service, he instructed them to take him down to the Capitol with the protesters, right? Secret Service is like, yeah, sure, whatever. They got into the car, and then they start driving. And then Trump is like, "You're not taking me to the Capitol." And he's like, "No." The Secret Service was like, "No, we're taking you back to the White House. The situation's out of control." And apparently, Trump just fucking lost it. He was like, he screamed, "I'm the fucking president!" And apparently, he lunged at one of his Secret Service personnel to try and take control of the wheel so he could go down to the Capitol. And This is the thing that freaks me out. The Secret Service, like, it was almost like okay, maybe we should just fucking take him. Like, that almost happened. They're like, nope, we're taking him. Like, we're taking him down to the White House. We're going to put him in timeout. It doesn't matter. Why did he want to go down to the Capitol so bad? Like, what was he going to encourage? Like, what would he really have incited if he was there? Like, I know this is paranoid thinking because it's all hearsay because none of us, like, you know, we don't know. But it's just really disturbing to me that he was so gung-ho about going to the fucking Capitol with his armored mob of protesters that he was willing to, like, almost cause a car wreck, basically.
Well, I mean, just everything that's come out is like I said, horrifying, and like it shows you how fragile our democracy can be. And like I said, I look at the positive of like all these people that did the right thing in the end. You know, Mike Pence, different people that were running Republicans in Georgia, Republicans in Arizona who knew Donald Trump was trying to defraud the system and stood up against it, and like told him like straight up, like people who have been threatened and have their families threatened and things from the president of the United States because they told him, look, I want you to win just as much as you want to win, but you lost. And you know, the pressure campaign he put on Mike Pence to overturn the election, and it's just like I'm filled with hope that so many people stood up and did the right thing, and put this country over their party, right?
Yeah.
Because it could have so easily been the other way. It could have I would hate to think what our country would look like right now if Mike Pence declared Donald Trump the winner.
if Mike Pence, declared Donald Trump the winner, if the Secret Service took Donald Trump down to the Capitol with an armed mob of protesters. There was a lot of things like, if everyone went the path of Texas, which basically just said it was going to look into seceding from the Union because of the results of the election, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But it's crazy. And we are lucky, but I just don't know how much lucky we can. I don't know how long that luck's going to last. It's just there's such like a political rot at the core of the country. Like when there's so many ineffective leaders at the same time making just nothing but horrible decisions. Like I feel like the reason our society is so stressed the fuck out right now is because we just don't have anyone competent enough to make like decisions for a modern age, because they're all running about market theories from like the 60s and 70s. When we have like the hyper efficiency of today, because every company is supported by massive information technology that like increases productivity by like 1,000%. And it's just sad. It's sad, the lack of innovative thinking. Like you and I have a representative in our state, Madeleine Albright. She doesn't know what planet she's on.
She's a million years old. She's fossilizing in front of our eyes.
And it's really fucking sad to watch that her aides are willing to do this to her. Like they are just masquerading, they're just painting a corpse and moving it around and saying, "Oh yeah, this is a functioning member of the government," because her aides don't want to give up their jobs. That's what it is at the end of the day. Like if any, and she's still in position of power. She's still making $200,000 a year to be mentally incompetent. It's just it's so, and I feel like this is a decision that's being made everywhere all the time, and it's just only going to keep getting worse and worse and worse until we eventually get, I think, to a point where we get an American city that just it eats itself alive, and it's not a city anymore. I think that's coming soon. Like we get to a point where like metropolitan areas, I don't know, like if we have a system for metropolitan areas disbanding themselves as metropolitan because of population clap, extreme violence, and a lack of any sort of like state or local government anything, kind of like the Wild West.
Yeah,
because we're seeing it in airplanes now, but how long is it until we start to get to a point where people aren't joining the police force anymore, and we don't have any police to deal with the supermassive population? Like, it's I don't know. I've been really doom and gloom these past couple weeks. I'm not, I'm not feeling motivated for the future of this country at all. And like, I know it's great that, we survived January 6th, but we survived January 6th because of a few small decisions that got made. I think, it still happened.
Right. Well, yeah, it still happened. And
there were still a lot of forces in the works for Donald Trump.
Right. And the other thing we have to also understand is, democracy really does fail when people lose faith in their institutions. And after the week of Supreme Court rulings we've had, people are losing a lot of faith in our institutions. So
yeah, and losing faith in the parties behind, like, it's just not even losing faith in the institution, but losing faith that the institution does anything productive whatsoever and actually works for anybody. It's just, man, I don't know. It sucks.
Yeah.
Like, I got a lot of stressful shit going on in my life right now, and this is the last thing I want to deal with. But we all got to collectively deal with it, and it fucking sucks dick.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yep. Anyway, let's get on to some more positive things. Did you finish Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I did, and I don't have any positive news to share.
You don't?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I don't know. Like, I watched it a couple times. I gave it a good little once over. I watched a couple of different reviews of different opinions. It just, when it comes down to it, it's just the quality was really inconsistent. I think.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, the last two episodes are the best episodes.
Exactly. I feel like Darth Vader was a little bit cheapened. He was giving people second chances when we know that's very much not in character. But I feel like they made this in character who we're all supposed to care about, who decided to grow a conscience for no reason other than she's scared of Darth Vader, and she's scared of Darth Vader, so that means she needs to grow a conscience, even though the reason she wasn't growing a conscience to begin with was because she was scared of Darth Vader. It really falls apart. I don't know how else to describe it. Like, this isn't all what I was anticipating the series to be. I thought it'd be something more low key, something a little bit more relaxed. Instead, we get action Star Wars shoot fun game all over the galaxy with things blowing up and with Darth Vader yelling at some people and throwing a lightsaber and getting angry when some lady getting angry that some really fucked up shit happened to her in her childhood, and she's scared of Darth Vader, but she grows a conscience because she's scared of Darth. It's just,
look, I agree with you. A lot of things make very little sense, but I really liked it.
I'm good, and I'm glad. I'm glad that you liked it. But I just, I don't know. I'm just.
I mean, because it's it's not just like I didn't mind Reva as a character, and like for me, it kind of felt like Darth Vader was plotting against her the entire time anyway, and then like when Obi-Wan escaped, like the Inquisitor base, like he was kind of just like. At that point, he was just angry. He was like, I'm not dealing with this shit anymore. I'm not setting her up for anything or whatever. I'm just going to kill her now. But then she's like, oh, I let him go. So we found the thing. And he was like, all right, I'll let this go a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I
guess she knows that he's Anakin, which is really supposed to be a really big thing. But,
Yeah, like, wouldn't it destroy him more to just, like, tell everyone that?
Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing that was like super confusing, spoiler alert, if you guys haven't watched the show yet, we're going to spoil things like right now. So he's talking to the Emperor and he's like, "Oh, we're going to use everything we got to find Obi-Wan." And the Emperor's just like, "Nah, we're chill. Like let him go." It's like didn't you like base your entire empire on murdering all the Jedi? Like, isn't that something you might like? Don't you have Inquisitors for that sole purpose to like find every remaining Jedi and murder them? And you're just like, oh, the most dangerous Jedi in the galaxy aside from Yoda, he's whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just
Qui-Gon generally appeared at the end, even though he was quite out. Oh, he's gonna have so many conversations with Qui-Gon, and there was like one brief 3-second cameo.
Oh, yeah. See, I expected to see Qui-Gon through the whole series, but apparently people were super surprised to see him.
Really?
Yeah, like it was like a major thing. Like it was like, oh my god, huge cameo. Holy shit, dude. I'm just like, I'm pretty sure like we expected this, right? Like if he didn't show up, I would have been disappointed. Like, but whatever.
Disappointed is a word.
Yeah,
you should throw it around. You should throw it around a little bit more, man.
What I will say is, I talk a lot about people on Twitter who post really stupid things and talk about how Star Wars is about whatever and you have to believe them, and if you don't, you're not a fan. And I just want to clear up. I'm not saying that they're wrong or like that their opinion is wrong. If someone says Star Wars is about fascism, I'll say yes. That's your interpretation of it, and it's a valid interpretation. But if you're dictating to me that I have to see that, and I can only watch Star Wars from your prism or the prism of George Lucas, all I'm saying is that's a boring way to live life. And nobody has to interpret things the way you do. And you can say, it's obvious, dude. It's obvious that the Empire and the Nazis and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, for a lot of people it is. But not for the 7-year-olds who want to watch the movie. Like... It's okay to not have that opinion, and I'm just more a fan of, like, some people only want to watch Star Wars for escapism, and even though Star Wars is wrought with politics, doesn't mean that they have to care about that when they're watching the movie or think about it. You know what I mean? So
there's a lot of themes in Star Wars, and it can be about fascism because there's a giant fascist empire in it.
Right. And also, there can be politics in something without them being inherently political. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, it's just the thing itself is like, when you're dealing with politicians, of course, it's going to be political in some way.
Right. But yeah, I think like. There's always a lot to get from Star Wars, like, and I will say, like, some of the strongest things about Star Wars are like the themes within it, and like that's why Star Wars has lasted so long, is because there are like these timeless themes that Star Wars presents. And I think that is the weakest part of Obi-Wan Kenobi, is there aren't many themes. Um, like it just kind of feels like they wanted to tell a story with Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, and they didn't know what to do, so they made
Exactly.
this.
That's what it comes down to. Like I think they bought into the meme hype, kind of like like it's almost like what happened with Morbius, but only into a much larger scale. And they didn't know what they were doing. I think they took all this amazing star power and they gave it to directors and writers who had worked only on smaller shows before. And I don't know. Like it's just it doesn't sit well. Like the first three, like like you said, the first three episodes are just so. Aside from the Vader scenes, like what and a few of the things that happened in episode 3, there really isn't that much else that happens that's very noteworthy. Like I know a lot of my sister is like a huge fan of. I guess they're calling her Baby Leia, which doesn't make any sense because she's 8 years old.
Yeah, 10-year-old Leia.
10-year-old Leia. I think I talked about her before that I'm just not the biggest fan of screaming kids. So
Oh yeah, see, I like everything about her aside from when she screams and when she runs very slowly. Like
yeah,
she again, she's 10 years old, but she runs like a toddler who just learned to run.
yeah, and my sister really says that she looks a lot like Carrie Fisher. I don't really see the resemblance that much, but
I see it sometimes. Like not all the time, but I do see it sometimes. And I do think like overall I liked her a lot. I liked her relationship with Obi-Wan. Um like and people I get what people are saying when they're like, "Oh, it makes so much sense now. She named her son Ben." But like the thing that doesn't make sense is they say like her lightsaber looks like his and it doesn't look like his in almost any way aside from like the tip.
mm,
But whatever.
yeah. Like I said, the series it has a lot of issues. Like I guess I'm glad it exists because I have more Star Wars content. I got to listen to James Earl Jones voice Vader before he kicked his bucket.
Yeah, I thought the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin and Darth Vader was really good. Some of the things were like weird, like all the floating rocks. But like the dialogue was really good.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty compelling and yeah. I mean the other thing again, like I said, a lot of things in the series don't make sense. Like people who consistently get stabbed with lightsabers just being totally fine.
Like fine, yeah. Again, the inconsistency where they want to humanize stormtroopers and then fucking kill them like
Yeah.
like they're cannon fodder.
Then
Which
again,
is a huge...
Darth Maul got cut in half and he survived. So
Yeah. Well, he didn't survive until after Dave Filoni said that he survived.
yeah. Well, was he alive or did they? I don't remember. Did they like cast a ritual to?
So what happened was that he was living off of pure rage in the sewers of Naboo, or I think he got transferred to some junk planet actually like that. And then his brother, Savage Opress or whatever.
Yeah. Eventually, they end up on Dathomir, right?
And then they rebuild him. Like they give him like evil robotic legs that are like powered by Night Sister magic.
Yeah, it was also nice in the Obi-Wan series to see them return to like some of the planets that we see only in the Clone Wars, like Jabim and yeah. But I mean, I don't get held up too much on some of the things that don't make sense because like they legitimately wanted to hide Luke from the Empire and his father, and they named him Luke Skywalker and gave him to his known family on a moisture farm on his home planet.
Yeah. Like now that we think about it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Like it does in the way that like Yoda and Obi-Wan thought they were like 5-head. They're like, yo, he hates that place. He'll never check that out.
Like 4D chess.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. But then like this show also makes it make less sense because Inquisitors just casually show up on Tatooine. So
that's the thing is just consistency of plot isn't there. I don't know. Like it's just there's a lot of issues, and this is like supposed to be like a magnum opus of Star Wars. Like oh my god, Obi-Wan's coming back, and then I don't know. Then it was just like okay, these first few episodes were kind of like all right, they happened. And then, you know, there were some cool scenes, and then that's it. Like, even then, for like the last 3 episodes, there were only cool scenes. Like, the episodes weren't like, there was a lot of space in between them that a lot of people don't talk about.
Yeah, like even the, you know, even in the last episode, like the Reva hunting Luke subplot was like kind of boring
and dumb and stupid, and she decided to grow conscious because she was scared of Darth Vader.
Well, it's also stupid because like I don't know, like I see people hyping up Owen and Beru, and I'm just like, yo, she could have just murdered them, like, easily.
Yeah, and that's like the inconsistency of power, which is something that comes around a lot in this show too. It's just sometimes, you know, like Obi-Wan, he could do a lot of things at the very beginning that were very skillful, but then he's supposed to be like, oh, he's not, like, you know, didn't he like kill like 4 people in a row with a blaster, like as like a Deadeye marksman, and then he can barely fucking swing his lightsaber. It was just dumb. It was dumb.
Well, he's disconnected from the Force, you know, like you don't have to, you know how to use the Force to be a good shooter, but you have to, you know, have some sort of connection with the Force to wield a lightsaber, unless you're Finn.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
You know,
we went from one depressing topic onto another depressing topic.
Did you watch any of Miss Marvel?
I did. Again, I don't really think it's kind of like Turning Red almost. I just don't think the show is made for me. I don't know. Like it's so peppy and like, you know, like high schooly. I don't know. I don't like thinking about high school anymore. So.
Gotcha. So you're not a fan so far.
So far, not really. I think her powers are neat looking. I like the moving graphics in the background, but I'm not the biggest direct fan of Kamala herself. Like, you know, I know the whole, like, you know, I can't remember. She's Pakistani, right? Or is she from India?
She's, I'm not sure if you know the history, but yeah.
I do not.
She's Pakistani, but I mean like actual world history, with like the partition of, the separation of India and Pakistan.
Yeah, they hate each other with like a burning passion with 1,000 suns.
Yeah, partition. Woo. Yeah, but yeah, she's Pakistani.
Good. Well, and so, you know, that stuff's like fun. Like, I'm not afraid of like other cultures or whatever. Some people will probably accuse me of, but it's just, I don't know.
You don't have to be like
they showed her going to a mosque, and then one of the like the women like talk shit to the imam through the wall, and like she would have gotten kicked out of the mosque. So it's just, I don't.
Hey man, it's like, 2022, okay?
It's not 2022 inside any mosque. Let me tell you. It's stuff, you know, little stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
like, what do you think? This is the thing. Like, I know because you're a huge fan of this series. So I'm sure you're. Well, I don't want to say bias is probably the right word, but I would say that you had a high expectations. It was backed up by the comic itself, right? So I don't know, like.
In general, like it's good to see. Like, my experience of the show might be a little enhanced because of my familiarity with the character and some of the points in the comics. But I don't want the show to only care about comic book fans, because then it's a bad show. You know what I mean? But no, I think I like the show. I think it's establishing a relatable character for a lot of people. And like you said, like, it's not going to be everyone, you know, but a lot of people, especially young people, can relate to a character like Kamala, right? Like they you know, especially if you're of certain cultures or certain upbringings, you know, you understand the pressure that your parents put on you. You understand, like, you know, dealing with school and whatever, like, even if your interests are something more creative, that your parents don't understand and aren't necessarily fans of, and I think there's a lot there, but obviously, just like everything else, it's not going to be for everyone. And that's why, like, you know, even me growing up, like, I love Peter Parker and I love Spider-Man, but I would relate more closely now with Spider-Man through his college years, or Spider-Man as an adult or in a businessman, more than the high school stuff, right?
Yeah.
So
That's one big thing for me is, again, just the high school stuff. Like, I didn't have a very good experience in high school. I'm sure there are a lot of people that did, but I personally did not. And this, I am not what
well, and
I'm not what I would call, like, a traditional American that thinks about high school with extreme fondness, I guess.
I think a lot of Americans have bad high school experiences too. But you're like a good example of someone who can relate to Kamala, who also doesn't necessarily enjoy high school.
Yeah.
But you don't relate and say, "Wow, I can relate. I like this." You relate and say, "Wow, I don't want to relive this garbage."
Relate, yeah, that, and also relate, like, project, like, girls that I don't like on her because she had this smart guy who's helping her out, and the next thing you know, this really hot dude steps out of a fucking corner and, like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a 15-20 minute fucking
Hey, just so wait. Bruno's gonna get some love, okay? I'm waiting for it.
Because that just makes her seem like the most fucking shallow piece of shit. That's the thing.
But it's not just that the guy was good looking. Like, they also can relate because of culture and stuff, okay? And talk about movies. And
I thought, yeah.
Bruno, even though he learns so much and, like, makes so much effort and, is a Giga Chad and 10 head, hey. He just can't compete with what's his face.
What's his face?
Yeah.
I probably couldn't compete either.
But that's okay, cause classic high school story. In the end, she realizes he was here the whole time.
I'm sure she does. After the emotional trauma, and then he has to live with her for the rest of his life.
It's the classic Cinderella story, man. She's gonna kiss him in his gas station.
All right.
Convenience store thing.
If that's what, I'll wait for that then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that wraps up. Is
there anything else to talk about?
The TV. Well, I mean, there's news.
Yeah, Ezra Miller is doing that crime speed run. Oh
my god! Yeah. Ezra Miller. I mean, what else could he do?
Apparently now he's kidnapping children and trying to grow his own little Charlie Manson cult.
Guns, bullets, and weed. Ezra Miller housing 3 young children and their mother at Vermont farm. This motherfucker. Sources claim the living conditions at the Flash Stars farm are unsafe for children, alleging there are weapons lying around and that a 1-year-old put a loose bullet in his mouth.
Nice.
Yeah, Ezra Miller needs to just go to jail. Like, he's speed running jail any percentage, okay? Like, this is yeah.
He's just doing a bunch of really weird shit, and I don't know why he decides to do those things.
Have you seen the meme of, like, Marvel actors preparing for the roles versus DC actors?
No, I have not.
Let me see if I can find it. It's a meme.
A lot of good memes for Ezra Miller.
Here it is. Can you see this?
Yeah. Oh, what is he doing, like crack?
It's like their mugshot. It's like a mugshot from Hawaii.
Yeah, that's hella funny.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, and it's almost like Ezra Miller is doing stupid things.
Yeah. We could speed run some news. Taika Waititi talked about his Star Wars movie again. He pretty much said nothing's been pinned down. He's not working on it this year. He doesn't know what he's doing yet.
He said it's going to be about Jar Jar.
Did he?
Yeah, bro. He joked. He said it was going to be Jar Jar's origin story.
My wife actually, like, so she watched Kenobi and she actually really liked it. And she said, but what happened to Jar Jar after Revenge of the Sith? And,
nobody knows.
And I said, well, the popular theory is he's actually a Sith Lord, but that's idiotic. So.
We used to be learning since about the powers of dark side's
Nah, that's really dumb. He's not a Sith Lord. But yeah, it's I don't know. Nobody knows what happened to good old Jar Jar. Mr. Webcam, please stop being blurry and shit. Whatever. I'll be blurry. I don't care. I don't care at all. Yeah. So he doesn't know what he's doing yet. Cool. Spider-Man No Way Home extended cut heads back to theaters in September. So there's gonna be an extended cut of Spider-Man No Way Home, which I'm sure you will not see, but I will see. So
I might watch it if it's on Disney Plus or anything like that.
I'm going to the theater.
Oh.
Hey man, extended cuts, I'm all for them.
How many? Do you know how much they're how much like extra? How many extra minutes it is?
Probably like 5. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't read the article.
I'll read this. I'll watch this.
Let me see. Even
Kevin.
more fun stuff. So what's in? We don't know. Sony and Marvel have yet to share their details. Yep, we don't know. Probably a bunch of deleted scenes that you can watch if you just buy the movie.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige says the next MCU saga will be revealed soon.
Saga. You said it was going to be what, Kang the Conqueror or whatever that guy's name was, right?
Well, I'll get to that in a minute.
All right.
It says, as we're nearing the end of Phase 4, I think people will start to see where this next saga is going. I think there have been many clues already that are at least apparent to me of where this whole saga is going, but we'll be a little more direct about that in the coming months to set a plan so audiences who want to see the bigger picture can see a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more of the roadmap. Yeah, this is what we talked about when we did our Doctor Strange review. I mentioned people are saying, where is it headed? Where is it headed? It's Secret Wars. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Like, yeah, that's like, you know, he's saying, yeah, it's been pretty apparent. Yeah, it has been apparent. It's Secret Wars and multiverse stuff and whatever. So, it's also, you know, Marvel Studios is returning to Comic-Con next month, which might be where they announce what's happening in the future for the MCU, or they can wait till D23 or whatever else that they're planning to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we know Marvel, we know Kevin Feige. They'll always let us know things, but they're gonna keep some things close to their chest as well. But yeah, Secret Wars is most likely. Here's a dumb bit of news. HBO is developing a Jon Snow Game of Thrones sequel series. Look at HBO.
Yeah, I read this and I honestly thought it was a joke for like the first 20 minutes I knew about his existence.
Look, we are okay as fans with House of the Dragon because it's a prequel. Why do we want a sequel of a show that left such a bad taste in everybody's mouth?
Yeah. Like they're going based off the legendary ending. So it's just very, I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
I just think that, you know, it's just, this is what happens. Like, I think George kind of gave up his property to a company that wanted nothing but money. So I guess we'll just, I don't know. Like, it's just sad to see. Like, because this is the only content. This is the only Game of Thrones content Game of Thrones people get. Like they're still, they've been waiting on the Winds of Winter for like what, 14 years now. It's yeah. Sucks to be a Game of Thrones fan.
So the Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim has set its initial voice cast. So this is an animated movie that's going to be set before the Two Towers. It's going to show a lot of different things. Like it's way back in olden times in Lord of the Rings. Miranda Otto is coming back as Éowyn. She was Éowyn in the movie. She's going to return to voice. So.
Good. Maybe that means that they sent her some stills, and it's going to be. Do we have any stills from it yet? I'm hoping it follows like a traditional Western style, like, you know, from the old school days, like what's Keith Parkinson or something like that. But
yeah, this movie's still 2 years away, so
they probably, so hopefully what had happened, the reason that she signed on so quickly is because they sent her, you know, stills of animation. That's what they do when they want to get people to like lend their voices to a cartoon, and the person's like, "Wow, this looks like shit. I don't want to do this."
Yeah, or maybe she just
Or maybe
hasn't
they paid
worked
her.
for years, so
Yeah, they paid her a lot of money. That too. They could be, or it could be both. Maybe make some money, and also this looks like a good project, which is great when it happens.
yeah. Apparently, the Rings of Power is also coming to Comic-Con. I don't know if anybody cares about that. Yeah, they're gonna be there.
It matters more what they're going to show, personally.
Right.
Coming to Comic Con, like, are they going to have actors there in gear? I don't know. We'll see. I think you and I are both feeling a little bit. We're starting to sweat from our brows a little bit about this series. We're kind of just have our fingers crossed, hoping it'll come out and not be total shit.
Yep.
But let's have to wait and see. Is it coming out this year or next year? I can't remember.
This year.
When?
September. Like in a couple months.
We should, yeah. We're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings Return to Moria has been announced for the PC. I thought we talked about this already, but
yeah, I saw it on Epic Games. It looks like it looks like a fun little game. I mean, little top-down strategy game.
Yeah, spring 2023.
Yeah, it's on. It's an Epic Games exclusive, which was I was really surprised.
That's pretty odd. Fall Guys just got bought out too by Epic Games.
It did. I played Fall. That's why it's the only reason I installed Epic Games. I never had Epic Games right up until a week ago. I'm a PC gamer, so I make all these decisions actively. The only other launcher I have on my computer is Origin for the EA games. Because there's some games that are only found on EA. Oh, and also they have really good deals for The Sims 4. Like you can mix and match like the DLCs. You can But Fall Guys is a lot of fun. Me and you should play it sometime.
I've never played it.
It's really chill. It is really chill. It's like a platformer.
Yeah. I've watched quite a bit of it being played, but I've never played it.
It's very, very chill. You and I would have a good time playing it.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Apparently, Todd Phillips has confirmed a Joker sequel.
Okay.
And
with Joaquin.
Yeah, with Joaquin Phoenix and it's
Robert Pattinson.
No, so he released this image where it says Joker Folie à Deux, which means madness for two in French. So everybody's like, "Oh my God, Harley Quinn! Oh my gosh!" Ah.
Yeah.
And yep, Lady Gaga in talks to play Harley Quinn in Joker 2.
Lady Gaga.
Because get this, it's also rumored to be a musical.
Okay. I mean, I'll watch that in theaters when it comes out because of that, but is what it is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like the thing is, right? Like people can argue with me all day and tell me how wrong I am, but the truth of the matter is, the first Joker movie has nothing to do with the character of the Joker from DC Comics. The entire movie could have been literally about anything or anyone. It could have been called The Clown, and it never had any references to Bruce or Thomas Wayne because they were really insignificant figures. Like it could have just been like Chad Bronson running, rich billionaire in the city of San Francisco, running for mayor, and his son Uric Bronson, who's somehow potentially related to this main character Arthur Fleck, who is crazy. Like it has nothing to do with DC Comics or the Joker in any way whatsoever. It only used those names to make money and to sell a movie, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It is what it is. But that's probably why the movie works so well for so many people, right? Is because it's not like it is made for the broader audience. It's not made just for comic book fans.
That, and also when I've said before multiple times that I'm a huge fan of like The Dark Knight Rises and The Dark Knight does this and The Dark Knight takes shit. I think that unfortunately it would seem like the idea of the Joker in most people's popular minds got really tied up with like being some sort of anarchistic figure that represents great change. And that's like what they're sticking to in their mind. And that's why like we're seeing with these movies, like you're right, the original Joker movie had nothing to do with like the Joker. There was no Batman or anything like that. He didn't even fall. I don't even think he fell into a vat of acid or whatever the fuck was supposed to happen.
No.
Yeah, and it's just
It's more a movie about how the mental health care system can fail people, especially here,
or
and
has.
yeah, and generationally, right? Because his mother was mentally ill. He pretty much had Munchausen's disease. Like he had all sorts of other mental health issues, and he just eventually snapped. And I mean, I don't really get
You,
how killing
you shot a
people
guy.
and then being terrified like that you killed people leads to you dancing in a bathroom. I don't get any of that, but whatever. That's
He's
probably because
crazy.
that's probably because I'm not mentally ill.
Yeah, I understand what he's doing. I understand completely. No, I'm just kidding. But it is very strange, and I mean, all because it's a musical, I'll go and see it. But like, I don't know, man.
Right.
I really like
It's all just rumors too.
Margot Robbie. I really like her as Harley Quinn. Like, I thought that she was great in the Suicide
I
Squad.
think
I
people
think
are tired of her though now.
maybe, but I think that she
Until
did the role.
Barbie comes out, then they're gonna be all over her again.
I know more people are going to be all over Ryan Gosling. You've seen some stills from that
Yeah.
dude. Like, looks like 10 out of 10, man. I don't know. Pretty dope.
Uh,
Anyway, what else do you want to talk
we didn't really talk about all the stuff that came out of Star Wars Celebration, so I'll just speed run that too.
about?
The Andor series is gonna
Yeah, I
be
heard it. Yeah, that sounds like, hopefully it'll be good.
coping with cognitive dissonance, maybe for the Joker. Um,
Okay.
yeah, that's what Ryojin says.
Yeah. Real
Um,
always coming in with the deep thoughts.
I don't know if you watched the Andor trailer.
I didn't. Like, me. I don't really watch that many trailers these days.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, when I was like pulling news to talk about for this, like
Mm.
every single line, like every like fourth or fifth article is another teaser or trailer for the new Thor movie. Motherfucker, I ain't clicking on none of that shit.
Yeah. They're ready, dude. People are ready for that Thor movie.
Yeah, I've been ready for like 3 months. I don't need trailers.
Yeah.
12 episode first season. That's a new one.
For who? For what?
For Andor.
Oh, well, maybe it's more practical effects and they could expand the budget out a little bit better.
Yeah, it takes place 5 years prior to Rogue One, and yeah, hopefully, I don't know. I like the character fine. I think Rogue One is an amazing movie.
I think it's probably still the best Star Wars movie we've gotten in a very long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Mon Mothma's in it. Okay, don't care.
Yeah,
We did mention Jedi Survivor being announced.
yeah, with Cal Kestis. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I've been
Go ahead.
no, I've been hearing rumors on the internet that Cal may be getting his own series, which is something I've been sipping for, so that's good. I think Cal's probably the most interesting male character we've gotten in a long time. Even when compared to like Boba Fett or Dang Djarin, whatever his name is, the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Din.
Dan.
Din.
Dan.
Yeah, the Ahsoka series first look teases Ezra, Sabine, Hera, and Chopper. Not sure we need all of those characters, but okay.
Yeah, Chopper will be fun to see like actually brought to life. I'm not sure about everybody else though. Ezra's
Yeah.
coming in. I know you were really big on Ezra. Didn't you think that was going to be who was going to be rescuing like all of
Yeah,
them?
for some reason I thought he was the one who was going to show up in the finale of The Mandalorian season 2,
Yeah,
and boy was I wrong.
Yeah, and said it was just the most basic, boring decision they could have made.
It was cool, okay.
Whatever you say. Anyway.
Star Wars Skeleton Crew officially announced for 2023, and Jude Law is going to be in it, apparently. What?
No, I was like checking it out. I mean, all right.
So Skeleton Crew will follow a group of 10-year-old kids. Oh no, 10-year-olds.
Everyone's my favorite, your favorite, everyone's favorite.
The story will take place between Return of the Jedi and will fit within the timeline of The Mandalorian and Ahsoka. Okay, don't give a shit about 10-year-olds. Mandalorian season 3 coming in 2023 February. There's some footage or whatever. The Bad Batch season 2 trailer confirms that it's coming out in fall of this year, and there will be a Wookiee Jedi in it. Oh, look, that's Palpatine. He's back.
Could be that. It's probably that. It's probably that Wookiee Jedi we saw get his lightsaber built. Padawan, come back, bro.
Star Wars Visions to return in spring 2023 with Volume 2. I didn't even finish Volume 1.
Man, I love Visions, but man, I'm a huge weeb, so it's like Star Wars and anime.
Yeah, Ian McDiarmid says a Palpatine prequel series would be very interesting. Nobody care. Well, okay, it would be interesting, but I think people are kind of tired of Palpatine now too. So
yeah.
Oh, this one got me pretty excited. Star Wars Tales of the Jedi. It's an animated series featuring Ahsoka, Count Dooku, and Liam Neeson's Qui-Gon Jinn. It's an upcoming anthology of original animated shorts that's heading to Disney Plus this fall that will not only tell stories of Ahsoka and Count Dooku at different parts of their lives, but will also see Liam Neeson return to voice Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah, no surprise he's back.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun and like really good. Is Grogu the key to the far future?
Yeah. BD1 from Fallen Order. You can pre-order his Lego.
Has it got like wires? Is it like powered, or is it just a?
I think those are just like aesthetic, not aesthetic. What's the word? Cosmetic.
Cosmetic items, yeah. Cosmetic displays.
Lego Star Wars Summer Vacation is another Lego Star Wars movie. Comes out August 5th. I do watch those. Like, they're pretty funny.
I watched the Lego movie 1 and 2, and then I watched Batman, but I don't think I watched any of the Lego Star Wars stuff. I don't know. I played the video games though, but I never like watched a legit movie from Lego Star Wars because I know they used to have like little specials on Cartoon Network, but they were like really for like 10. I didn't watch them.
Yeah. Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures is a new show headed to Disney Plus and Disney Junior that is aimed at pre-kindergarten children. Blech. Furthermore, it is set during the High Republic era. So you're doing all this High Republic stuff, but you're doing the show for like kids who don't even have a brain yet.
Don't even know words. Yeah, I was about to say like pre-kindergarten. That's like fucking you can't even shit.
They don't even know their alphabet, motherfuckers.
They don't even know they don't even know they're on planet Earth. They just know they're on a planet.
Yeah. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, announced for Nintendo Switch during Star Wars Celebration, but it was also announced that we will be playing it soon as the second KOTOR will be released on June 8th. Wait, it's already out?
Wait, yeah, The Sith Lords has been out forever. It's like, it was KOTOR.
Oh no, you broke up. Don't died. Are you still there? If you're talking, I can't hear you. Alright, time to stall until hopefully he returns. I'll send him a message. I can't hear if you are talking. Oh, I heard a noise. Aha! Yeah. Okay, welcome back. Wait, are you actually back? Your voice disappeared again. Is it something with Discord? Oh, there you are. I hear you. I hear you typing. Oh, I heard your doggo.
Yeah, she's upset because she needs to go outside and get dinner. But yeah, no, what was I talking about? Yeah, you're making a Star Wars show for like little fucking.
Yeah, but what's this thing? What is the KOTOR being released on June 8th? Is that just on the Switch?
Yeah, on the Switch.
That's not the remastered one or whatever.
No. Knights of the Republic 1. They're remastering the first one. This one. The Sith Lords is actually a really, really good game, and I actually think it's probably one of my favorite video games of all time, next to Dishonored. But I just, I don't need it. I don't need it on the Switch.
Okay. Well,
I personally don't. I'm glad other people do, so you can like play it on the plane or whatever. But you can just play it on a laptop because it's $3 on Steam. So
yeah, but isn't it a huge download?
no.
Which one? Which one is the big download? Or is it just the Old Republic?
The Old Republic, the MMORPG is a huge download because it's an MMORPG. Yeah, but no,
like
Knights
50 gigs.
Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 are like, 2 games from 2005. So no, they're not very big.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all the news. That's all the speed running, and yeah, I think we're done. You have to take your doggo out.
She's looking at me. Oh.
Oh.
What? Oh, what? You got something to say? Oh, you want time? Is that it? All right. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks anybody who watched, anybody listening to the podcast, blah, blah, blah. Follow us. The Nerd Ledger on Twitch and whatever. You can also, Twitter, whatever. Much love. Peace out. Goodbye. See you later, Internet.
Bye, Internet. Get me out.